Hi everyone, my name is Maddie, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my September book haul. So I have no idea how I keep getting so many books when I'm trying so hard to not buy too many, but I have got 12 physical books this month and I will also talk at the end briefly about a few ebooks that I've got, but I just need to dive straight in, otherwise this video will end up so long. But yes, 12 books to talk about, all of which I am so excited for and I'm excited to tell you about. And some of them I've already read, though most of them I haven't yet and I need to get to soon. But starting off, like always, I'm going to talk about the books that were gifted to me, and first up I have two books which were gifted to me by the publishers. So the first book from a publisher is XX, a novel graphic by Ryan Hughes. I am so intrigued by this one. This did actually come out on the 20th of August in the UK, so it is already out, but I will be reading it in September and getting to it very soon to talk about it. But I was actually sent this on its release date, so I didn't have a chance to read it before it came out. And this is a super intriguing, absolutely huge book, which is a sort of sci-fi mystery book, but it is actually mixed media, which is really interesting. It has news articles, it has documents, it has all sorts of different things in it, and I am so intrigued by it. So as I said, this was written by Ryan Hughes, and he is actually a graphic designer, illustrator, comic book writer, so many different things, type designer, yeah, everything. So he's done it all completely himself, which I think is really interesting because the other mixed media books I've read have been written by one person and then the mixed media, although it may have been the author's ideas, were created by someone else. But this was, as far as I'm aware, completely done by him, and so it's really his vision coming to life. So from what I know for the premise plot of this is it's someone who hears this almost like weird signal from outer space and needs to try and track down what it means, what it is. It also includes sort of NASA documents and part of a 1960s book called Ascension, and just, I don't really know what to expect from this, but I will be vlogging my reading of it because I'm so intrigued by it. But I am really grateful to the publisher. As I said, I will be putting my full thoughts out at some point soon, and I cannot wait to get to this one. So next, sent to me by Walker, is The Reckless Afterlife of Harriet Stoker by Lauren James. I've read The Quiet at the End of the World and also her middle grade novella, both of which I really enjoyed, but I've not read all of her books. I'm working on getting through her back catalogue, but this is her newest release, which comes out very soon. This comes out on September 3rd. And I don't know completely what this follows, but I get the impression it's almost a thriller mystery with a bit of a sci-fi hint to it, which is different because most of other books have just been sci-fi. But this basically follows a girl, Harriet Stoker, who ends up dying and then discovering a group of ghosts and kind of getting to know them and then learning her own powers. And then I don't really know what will happen, but I've really enjoyed Lauren James writing in the past, so I'm extremely excited to give this one a go. Hopefully I'll really enjoy it. I sometimes struggle with like really scary books, but I get the impression that this one's more like spoopy than spooky, so I think I'll be okay. And I also have to mention that when this book was sent to me, it came with a little publicity package which included the cutest little thing I have ever seen in my life. I am obsessed with it, and this is definitely going to be my little reading companion for when reading this spooky little book, and I'm very excited. But yeah, this one sounds really interesting, and I definitely think will be a book I would enjoy. So going to get to this one as soon as possible as it comes out in a few days, and I really need to read it. Another book I got from a publisher is Star Daughter by Shweta Thakrar. However, I was not gifted this. This I won in a giveaway for the sort of Yalka Home week, and I am so excited for this one. Honestly, it just sounds amazing. This follows a girl who is descended partially from a star and partially from people, and just everything that comes with that. I think she has celestial powers. I get the impression her powers may go slightly wrong and she needs to fix some things, but this sounds phenomenal. It has one of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen, and I've been anticipating it for a really long time, so I was absolutely thrilled to win a copy of this, and again, we'll be reading this very soon. I have heard really good things about this, so I think this is going to be a phenomenal start to a new series, which I'm probably going to become obsessed with. And then finally, the one other book that was gifted to me is Jade City by Fonda Lee. This was gifted to me by Katie over at Brightness Katie Reads, who will be linked down below. So yeah, this follows two rival families who I think have rival gangs, and they can harness the power of Jade, and then a new drug appears that means anyone can use this power. So fantasy gang, I've heard that the romance in this is like really steamy and really good, so definitely very intrigued to pick this one up. I don't know when I'll get to it because it's kind of chunky, but hopefully soon because it sounds phenomenal. And I think the second book, Jade War, is already out, and I don't know when the third book is coming out, but nonetheless I really want to read all of them, so hopefully soon. And thank you obviously so much to Katie for sending this to me. So the rest of the books I have got this month don't really have any particular order, so I'm just going to go through them in whatever order I feel like, and let's just start. So the next book I need to talk about is Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Bayron. This is a female fantasy book. This is actually the September pick for the FAYS and Gays book club, which I host. Everything will be linked down in the description if you want to check that out and join us in chatting about this book at the end of September. Also, we do have a Discord group chat if you want to chat about it throughout the month. But this, I don't know a huge amount about, but I think it follows after Cinderella's story. So she has gone through her journey, met the prince, that's all ended. And this then follows sort of the world that exists after that, where people have to try and fit something and go to this big annual event to find a partner. And I think if you don't find a partner after a certain number of times, you are then in danger. However, this follows the main character Sophia, who doesn't want to be chosen, and also I think runs away with another girl, and then it's a female-female romance. So this sounds really interesting. I will, of course, be reading this in September for the book club, and I am so intrigued. Again, the cover is just beautiful. It's just gorgeous with that foiling as well. And I have heard some absolutely phenomenal reviews for this. Loads of people are absolutely loving it, so I could not be more excited to pick it up. I don't know when I'll be reading it, but hopefully pretty soon, as I am extremely excited for it. So next is a book I actually technically bought at the end of July, but it didn't arrive with me until the beginning of August, and that is Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty. I read City of Brass in July. I was meant to be reading this in August and I didn't get to it, so I don't know when I'll read it, but this is obviously the second book in the David Bad trilogy, which everyone raves about. I really enjoyed City of Brass, so I'm definitely going to continue at some point. And I just have to say, I'm so obsessed with these US paperbacks. I'm actually nervous about what edition I'm going to get Empire of Gold in when the time comes, because look at this. Look at that. This is the epitome of a good book. I love a floppy paperback, and it makes me so happy that these are so ridiculously floppy. But this follows a main character, Nari, who is a bit down on her luck, not having the best time, and she can sort of help people with medical problems. She does have a natural tendency to know what is wrong with people and how to help. However, she does slightly over-egg what she's doing to make herself seem like she's being more successful. And in one of these instances, she accidentally does a ceremony that summons a djinn. And then he discovers that she may not actually be who she thinks she is. They go to the City of Brass to discover more, and it all kicks off from there. I am slightly nervous to get to this one because I did enjoy the first one, however I found some of the politics a little bit slow, and I've heard everyone saying that this is just a lot of politics, but at the same time everyone loves it, so I'm going to be optimistic. I will hopefully read this before the end of the year, but I don't know when exactly. But yes, I'm very, very excited for it. It's just so floppy, honestly. It just makes me so happy every time I pick it up. But I need to catch up on this buddy read because I was meant to be reading in August and I'm very, very behind as I fell into a slump in August. But nonetheless, super excited when I do finally get to this one. Next are two books which I guess I'll sort of talk about together, and that is Get a Life, Chloe Brown, and Take a Hint, Danny Brown. These are the first two books in the Brown Sisters series by Talia Hibbert. These are both adult romance books, and I'm actually partway through the second one at the moment. I've just finished Get a Life, Chloe Brown, but I'll talk about them individually to give you a quick synopsis. So Get a Life, Chloe Brown follows Chloe Brown, who is a mid-30s woman who has chronic illness and chronic pain. And because of this, she's kind of shut herself off from the world. But right at the beginning of this book, she almost gets hit by a car and realizes if she were to die that her obituary would be very boring. She's not done a lot with her life. And so she decides to change that. She makes a list and she decides to achieve everything on it to make herself a more interesting person. And then she sort of meets the superintendent of her new building where she's living, and they kind of get to know each other, and he tries to help with the list, and then it becomes possibly the cutest romance I have ever read. This is honestly so cute. I loved it so, so much. And oh, I cannot recommend it highly enough. Honestly, it's so good. One of my favourite things is this is set in the UK. I don't think I've ever read a romance book set in the UK, so that was quite nice. Though I did take about 2/3 of the book to realise this because I'm really dense and just completely missed the fact that it was set in the country I live in. But yeah, I loved this. I'm definitely going to be picking up the third book when it comes out. But first, the second book. So Take a Hint, Danny Brown is obviously the sequel. They are companion novels more than sequels, as this follows Chloe's younger sister, Danny, and then the third book will follow their younger sister, Eve. And so yes, you do see bits of Chloe, but this is very much its own book, and I know people have read them out of order and not had any issue with it, so don't feel you have to read them in order. But this follows Danny Brown, who is looking for a sign from the universe to know that she has found the right person, and she doesn't want anything serious. She just wants a friends with benefits situation. She does not do relationships, she does not do feelings. That's just not her thing. That's not what she's looking for. but it is safe to say she's not particularly good at noticing the hints the universe gives her. She just keeps missing them and she's completely oblivious. I'm about 80 pages into this at the moment and so far it is adorable. I think this is going to become a fake dating trope, which is really exciting. But again, I'm loving it. I love this series. I love Talia Hibbert's writing. I am very excited for the third book. If you're looking for an adult romance series, this is definitely one I'd recommend checking out. And although it is adult, it kind of reads like new adult, even though the characters are slightly older. But it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant and I highly recommend it. So next up is a book I am exceedingly excited about, and that is Wolf Song by TJ Klune. I have read The House in the Cerulean Sea and The Extraordinaries by TJ Klune both this year, and I adored them both so much. So I instantly started looking through all the other books he's written, of which there are so many, and decided this is the one I want to try next. This is the beginning of a quartet. The fourth book is coming out next month. And I'm so excited. This is paranormal, new adult, romance, werewolves. I don't know much past the buzzwords. I don't want to. I want to go in really blind. Oh, it's male-male as well. Own Voices male-male representation. And I'm just so excited. I know that this series has a really huge sort of cult following. A lot of people absolutely adore it, which makes me really excited and really optimistic about it. I gave 5 stars to both of his books that I've read so far, so I can't imagine this will be anything less, as I obviously love his writing and love the stories he tells, but I am beyond excited to get to this one. It is also a self-pub paperback, which I love them. They're so heavy and like chunky, which are really nice. And there's a lot in this book. Like, I don't think I've ever seen such a densely packed page, so this is going to be quite a read, but nonetheless, I'm beyond excited. I had to restrain myself from buying the first 3 books in this series straight away. I thought I'd just buy one and read it and check that it is my thing, though it's very unlikely not to be, before picking up the rest. But I think it is safe to say in my next haul that there might be a few more TJ Klune books. Just maybe, because I'm a little bit obsessed and he is very quickly becoming one of my favourite authors of all time. The next book I bought is actually a book I've had on pre-order for months and months, and that is Nick and Charlie by Alice Oseman. This was just a cute little novella following Nick and Charlie from her Heartstopper series, and this is when Nick is a little bit older. He's 18, he's just finished school, and it's them dealing with how it's going to work with Nick going off to uni and Charlie sort of being left behind as he is a year younger and sort of doing long distance. And this was kind of really sad to read, but it was really good. I really enjoyed it. But they have a big fight, which I don't like. I like seeing them really happy, but it is realistic. And although I didn't, do a long distance relationship when I moved to uni, Nick's experience of what it's like to move to uni was really similar to mine. It's that utter excitement, but also the nerves and all of it. It was really nice to see. I love seeing books centered around that age, as obviously I've just finished uni. I feel like I like that sort of uni period books because it's really just fun for me to read. But yeah, this is a really good book. If you've read the Heartstopper series, I'd recommend reading this. It does also feature illustrations in the style of Heartstopper throughout the book. So there is just basically more artwork in here, and it's a very quick read. It is 160 pages, but realistically it's less than that. There's not a lot on a page. The pages are very small. There's a lot of illustrations, but it's really fun. And if you need a fun, quick, happy, in the end read, I'd recommend picking this one up. So the final physical book I have to haul is Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. I have never actually read a Naomi Novik book. I have Uprooted already, and I didn't own this one, so I picked it up when I just came across it in a charity shop recently. And as I said, I've never read Naomi Novik. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, the books don't necessarily appeal to me. But her new book, Deadly Education, is coming out soon, and I will be getting a copy of it in the Illumicrate box, as I'm subscribed to Illumicrate. And from what I've heard about that one, I think I'm going to love it, and I have a sneaking suspicion if I love that one, I'm going to want to read her other books. So as I saw this for like £1 in a charity shop, I thought, why not pick it up, and then I can give it a go when I want to. I think this is a retelling of Rumpelstiltskin and follows 3 sisters. I don't know. I remember everyone talking about it when it first came out, but as I wasn't particularly interested, I didn't pay that much attention. But, it was a case of it's cheap in a charity shop, I'm not going to pass up the opportunity, and also even if I never read it, I've not exactly wasted much money, so why not? So those are all the physical books I got this month, but I do have 4 ebooks to tell you about really quickly. The first of which is one I got through NetGalley from HarperCollins, which is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I'll put the cover up here. And this is a 1920s Shanghai setting Romeo and Juliet retelling, which honestly sounds like possibly the best thing I've ever come across. I am obsessed with the idea of that. It sounds so interesting. The author is hilarious. I love seeing her on Twitter. and the way she speaks about her book just makes me even more excited for it. But I don't know too much past it being a Romeo and Juliet retelling, but that tells you quite a lot in itself. Obviously it's star-crossed lovers. I think it's rival gangs, which there is where the romance is, and I'm so unbelievably excited for it. I am so thankful to have got an arc of it. I'm not exactly sure when I'll get to it, but obviously it'll be before the pub date, which is in November, so there's plenty of time to get to it, and I am so excited. And then the other 3 books I got on ebook, I got all of on Kindle daily deals. I try and check quite regularly, and also I keep an eye on Twitter and things to see what's coming up as a daily deal. And these are 3 that came up throughout the month, which are books I've been interested in the past, but not interested enough to go out and buy a copy. So perfect to get them for about £1 on Kindle. The first is An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. I've heard really good things about this, though not everyone absolutely loved it, which is what made me nervous to go and pick it up. But recently Ashley at A Frolic Through Fiction read it and really enjoyed it, and the way she described it made me really want to read it, and so I thought, why not get it for £1 when it's available. All of these ebooks I don't know when I will read. I don't have a specific deadline for them. They're less of a priority to me than my physical books, but it's really good to have, as sometimes I just want to zone out and read on Kindle, or sometimes I actually read when I'm in the gym. So it's really good to have a good catalogue of books for me to choose from. And this is set in a world where there are Fae, but Fae cannot create things, and so a human is hired to paint portraits of Fae royalty. However, she does something that is considered obscene to them, which is she paints emotion into their eyes. And so I think she has to go to their court, maybe? I don't know. I've heard there's some sassy banter. I think it turns into a bit of a romance, like hate to love. I'm in. It sounds really good, and the cover is absolutely stunning. Next, I picked up Wicked As You Wish by Rin Chapeko. I've heard amazing things about a lot of Rin Chapeko's books. There's many of them I've been considering picking up, and I get the impression this is almost like a fairy tale-esque book. So when I saw it on Kindle for about £1, I thought, why not give it a go? So looking up the synopsis, this follows a ragtag group of people and a firebird having to discover the lost city of Avalon, along with someone who was Avalon royalty but is basically in hiding. This sounds so good. It's the start of a series, but nonetheless it sounds really interesting. I love the cover. It's really just, I don't know why, I find it really aesthetically appealing. So yeah, that's being bumped right up my TBR because that sounds really cool. And then the final book I got on a Kindle daily deal was Hold Back the Tide by Melinda Salisbury. This, I have heard of Melinda Salisbury before. I do actually have her State of Sorrow books, and haven't read them yet, but I've heard very good things. But this one especially, I've heard Samantha Shannon speaking extremely highly of, and I really trust Samantha Shannon's opinion as I love her books, so I decided to give it a go when I saw it come up. I think this is horror though, which I didn't know when I picked it up, so hopefully it's not too scary, because I am the biggest scaredy cat on the planet and do not deal with anything scary at all. But I'm optimistic. I really want to give it a go at the very least, and I've heard amazing things about Melinda Salisbury's writing, so I think it's really possible that it'll be a book I end up loving. But that is it for the books I got this month, 16 in total, which is far more than it should be, but nonetheless I'm excited about all of them. A lot of them I'll be reading very, very soon and we'll have thoughts for you. But yeah, that is it. I need to stop buying books, but we all know that's not going to happen, so we'll see more of these videos every month, I'm sure. But thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and a comment down below. Let me know what books you got this month. Did you get too many? Were you actually sensible and restrained? Subscribe if you'd like to see more content from me. All my other social medias are linked down in the description as they always are if you want to connect on any other platform. But bye, and I'll see you in the next one.